Hello, welcome to Nana's Journey. Today we're going to do the back of the Fat Quarter Shop's charity quilt along. It's the Moonbeams, and I ordered the pieced backing kit, so we're going to put that together today and get the quilt finished. So these, I'm not doing hexagons. This is called cheater fabric. This is just a piece of fabric like this. We're going to make a big star, two little stars, put some strips together and put it together. So it should go pretty fast. This is the kit. This is the fabric for it. It is the Strawberry Lemonade by Sherry and Chelsea from Moda. So we've got the red and the white, the blue, all the fabrics that were in the other one. I'm going to use the green that was in the quilt instead of this green. It's just a little darker. See, there's the difference. Because I had enough left over to do that, so I'm going to use that. And then this is the cheater fabric. So it'll end up really cute. Let me get the pieces cut up. Also, Fat Quarter Shop will put out the free patterns on the first Friday of every month of the month that the block comes out. So I believe this one will be September. And my videos will follow along that same pattern. For these quarter square triangles, she has you cutting out triangles and sewing them together. I'm going to do the 2 at a time method, so my cutting will be a little different here. I'm also going to be doing the flying fast geese 4 at a time method for these sawtooth stars, so my cutting instructions will also be a little different for those. But everything else will be the same, and they end up the same sizes. For these sawtooth stars, you can either do the folded quarter methods for your flying geese. You can use her foundation paper piecing that came with the kit, or you can do the 4 at a time method, which is what I'm going to use. So you just find the one that suits you, and that's the one you do. So let me get these cut up, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got everything cut out. I have got 2 white and blue 6-inch squares. I've marked the white with this half-inch ruler. I laid it from corner to corner and marked on each side, and that will give us 4 half-square triangles. I've also marked the 4 red and the 16 green for the sawtooth stars. I know I said I was going to use the darker green because I had leftovers, and I did have enough leftovers to make the sawtooth stars. But I forgot that I also needed the green for the stripes, so I went back to the lighter green. So, and for this hourglass or quarter square triangle, whatever you want to call it, I've got 2 5-inch squares of the red and white, and I also marked those, and that will give me my hourglass units. I've got 2 3.5-inch squares, 3.5-inch squares. I've got 8, well, these would also be 3.5-inch squares. I have got, for the white, I have got 20 1 3/4-inch squares. For the fast flying geese, you've got 1 large square and 4 small squares for each sawtooth star, because it makes 4 flying geese. So I have 1 4-inch, I believe. Yeah, 1 4-inch and 4 2 1/4-inch. So I have 4 4-inch and 16 2¼ inch. So we're going to start on these half square triangles and the quarter square triangles, and then we'll work on the sawtooth stars. So let's get to the sewing machine. Okay, I'm going to show you one set of each, and I think I mentioned that I had 2 of these sets, but I have 4. You need 2 for each block. So we're just going to sew on the lines. Okay, so for this one, we're just going to cut in between. We'll press it open towards the blue and then trim it to whatever it says. I don't have the pattern with me. And with this one, we're going to do the same thing. We're not going to trim it, but I'll show you what comes next. Okay, these are ironed, pressed towards the blue, and they finish at, or they don't finish at, they're unfinished at 5½ inches. So we've got those 4 done. Now, for the quarter square triangles, we pressed towards the red. I didn't trim these because they don't need to be trimmed yet. And you're going to put them right sides together with the reds opposite. And you're going to nest those seams. You can feel it. And then you're going to mark with the quarter square triangle your sewing lines again. And I've got the fusion pin, irons off. And then you sew. Okay, then I'm going to cut that in half between the sew lines, and I will have 2 quarter square triangles from this one piece. So let me get those finished and I'll be right back. And they will be trimmed to 3½ inch squares. Okay, I've got these pressed and trimmed to 3½. And this is how the block is going to go. I'm going to make one, I'll do the other one off camera, and then we'll get to work on the other block. You want to make sure that your white is right side up, and that for the hourglass that the white is next to the blue square. And then we just put the rows together, and then put the rows into a unit. Okay, I'm going to press these ones towards the blue square and these ones towards the white square, and then we can nest. Okay, I've got both those made, and they have you press the seams open. Now we need to work on our sawtooth stars. I'll show you how to do the one, and then I will do the others offline. So we're going to do it. I just leave like a 1/16 of an inch edge between the fabrics instead of coming all the way to the top. Okay, now I'm going to cut in between, and then we will have 2 squared hearts after I press the red up. Okay. And then we will also put those in the corner as well. Then I will cut these apart, and we will have 4 flying geese. And then we will just need to trim them. Okay, these are our flying geese, and I'm going to use a regular ruler this time instead of my wing clipper. You would need a wing clipper too for this size because it's kind of an odd size. And I'm going to put my 45-degree line along this seam here. And what we want is we want it 3 by 2 3/4. So I'm just going to line that up. And then I'm going to line it up this way. And your 1.5 mark should come right in between at the point, and you should have a 1/4 inch seam allowance there. And we've got our flying geese. So I'm going to get the rest of these cut and the other ones made, and then we will put the star together. Okay, now that we have our flying geese made, we can put 2 of them on opposite ends of the square. Okay, we're going to press these towards the center square. Okay, we're going to take and put 2 of these on each end of these flying geese. Put right sides together. Okay, and then these ones we will press towards the corners. All right, now we're going to attach the flying geese to the centerpiece, and we're going to nest those seams. Okay, and I'll press those to the outside, or you could probably press them in too. So, but there is our sawtooth star, and I'll do the others offline, and then we can put the blocks together. Okay, I have all the sawtooth stars done. Now I need to start putting this block together. Here's part of it. We're going to put these pieces together. You want to be careful which direction these blue go. It'll end up making a friendship star. And so there is a certain angle that it goes. I'm going to press these rows towards the blue star. Okay, here is the block. It's all pressed. I pressed towards the middle row, And now I'm going to put on a 2.5 by 15.5 inch strip on each side, and you want to make sure that you've got right sides together. Okay, now we're going to take our 2.5 by 19.5 inch strips and put them on the other two sides. And then we'll press those open. Okay, here's our block. It should end at 19.5 by 19.5. Now we're going to take the other two stars that we made, and we are going to put a blue strip. It's 9.5 by, I don't remember. It's 9.5 by 21. And I will press that towards the blue. Okay, next we're going to take these and we're going to put a green strip. These are 5.5 by, they're supposed to be by 30. I haven't cut the length yet. I'll do that when I'm done. We'll have one on each side. Okay, now I'm going to press these open and trim this, and then I'll do the other one off camera. Okay, now we're going to sew the star next to this star that has these attached, so it's one long strip. Okay, and we will press that towards the sashing, and we'll get the other strips ready. Okay, we're now at the part where we're just adding strips. Keep in mind that the pink is directional fabric, so when you're joining the strips together, you want them to go the same direction. Okay, next I'm going to add this cheater fabric, and it comes like 78 inches. It's 2 1/3 yards, and it's 60 inches this way. You want to make sure you cut it lengthwise in half, otherwise you're going to be very sorry. so that it's 2 1/3 yards wide and 30 inches height. So I'm just going to add a strip of this onto the quilt. It's kind of big, and when it's done I will show it to you. Okay, here it is all finished and quilted and bound. This was a fun quilt to do. I hope you enjoyed it also. And thank you very much for joining me. And I hope to see you next time on Nana's Journey.